that are taking place. Some Palestinians are being charged up to $2,000.
I'm not going to South Africa for the G20 because I think their policies on the extermination of people are unacceptable. So I'm not going. So I won't refer to anything having to do with South Africa. South Africa has behaved extremely badly. But
to pursue the agenda of white supremacy.
You think Trump is pursuing a white supremacist agenda?
Yes, I think so.
Sunrise over DC, coffee in my hand. Saw the headlines from a faraway land, South Africa's politicos
running their mouth again about America and me. Where does it all end? They're about a whole year of the same old tune,
name calling in tall tales beneath the African moon. Oh, it's more trash in the USA, I declare, while their own folks are struggling beyond all compare. Pointing fingers outward, ignoring what's inside. For Afrikaners and minorities, nowhere left to hide. Well, this cowboy's had enough,
patience wearing thin.
Gonna tell the world the truth. Where do I begin?
They talk about freedom and justice for all, while their own people are answering a different call.
Farmers on their homesteads,
living in fear and dread.
Minority voices silence words left unsaid.
Promises like tumbleweeds blowing in the breeze, while their leaders keep on preaching,
bringing us to our knees. Oh, it's more trash in the USA, I declare, while their own folks are struggling beyond all compare. Pointing fingers outward, ignoring what's inside. For Afrikaners and minorities, nowhere left to hide. Well, this cowboy's had enough,
patience wearing thin.
Gonna tell the world the truth.
Where do I begin?
I tried to stay quiet,
let it roll right on by,
but a man can only take so much beneath God's sky. That's the honest truth.
When you see folks suffering, it just ain't right.
Gonna set the record straight. In the USA, I declare, while their own folks are struggling beyond all compare. Pointing fingers outward, ignoring what's inside. For Afrikaners and minorities, nowhere left to hide. Well, this cowboy's had enough,
patience wearing thin.
Gonna tell the world the truth.
Where do I begin?
Yeah, more trash in the USA,
but the truth will find its way.
Pretoria, listen up to what I gotta say. God bless America, come what may.
Come what may.
Yeah, man! Serious times down in Johannesburg. Watch the fire now. Listen! The horns! Oh, yeah. The stage was set.
came from across the sea to talk about the world economy. Johannesburg was dressed to impress, ready to clean up the global mess. But before the first gavel could sound, a different kind of noise started going around. Now everybody talking about Cyril's big blunder. He lighting the match while we standing under. You think you're smart with that devious smile, but you're burning down the bridge for mile after mile. Oh, Cyril's big blunder, what a heavy price when you're playing politics and rolling the dice. The party is cancelled, the guests wouldn't come. Now we dancing alone to the beat of the drum. The ANC politicians step up to the mic, spewing out words that nobody like. They open their mouths and the fire jump out, insulting America, scream and shout. They're telling tall tales, they're telling the lies, right there under the African skies. And the media catch it, they run with the ball, they amplify the noise until the whole thing fall off. Talking about Cyril's big blunder, he lighting the match while we standing under. You think you're smart with that devious smile, but you're burning down the bridge for mile after mile. Oh, Cyril's big blunder, what a heavy price when you're playing politics and rolling the dice. The party is cancelled, the guests wouldn't come. Now we dancing alone to the beat of the drum. Yeah. Watch the house of cards, they're tumbling over. Yeah, blow it down, what a mess. I look at the president sitting up high, I see that little twinkle in his eye. He cracking that smile, that devious grin, while the diplomatic ice is getting very thin. You think the eagle gonna take that heat? Nah, sir, they won't take a seat. No Uncle Sam at your Josie party. You chase them away, you're acting too hearty. It's Cyril's big blunder, he lighting the match while we standing under. You think you're smart with that devious smile, but you're burning down the bridge for mile after mile. Oh, Cyril's big blunder, what a heavy price when you're playing politics and rolling the dice. The party is cancelled, the guests wouldn't come. Now we dancing alone to the beat of the drum. Yeah, yeah, they staying away America now come to Johannesburg today. You set the house on fire, man, what kind of plan? Cyril, wipe that smile off your face. It's a disgrace. No, sir. No, sir.
Marvin Divine. I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Jo, awe, Masakina, hey, Otsi Hilijang, Hochande Zuid-Afrika, bonjour, bienvenuti, servus, grüß Gott, guten Tag. Hey, what's up, folks? How's it going? Welcome back to the program. It's Chris live in central Pennsylvania. Sound check. Welcome back to the program. Sounds good. I already did a data check, up over 30, close to 40 megabytes per second. Perhaps, fingers crossed in English, in American English, or thumbs crossed in German. Ich drücke die Daumen. And hope that they fix the internet problem. The technician or the guy in charge who elevated my case called me back while I was interviewing Dr. Hammond. I had to tell him I'll return his call. I did, but he was tied up. I left a message. Hopefully they resolve the problem, and I know it is, so we don't have this recurring issue. But let's keep our fingers crossed. Thankfully, we're able to get that through. It worked out pretty well. In fact, now it says I'm sending data at a faster rate that's recommended. It says I'm sending it 5 megabytes per second. Okay. All right. They recommend 2,500. Anyway, that might be why some people have difficulty with my stream sometimes in South Africa, because you're not getting enough bandwidth. What you need to do is downscale to a slower resolution. This is the penultimate day of 2025. I cannot believe 2025 is in the history books. It's crazy. What a crazy year across the world. President Trump returned to office. Cyril Ramaphosa signed a law to steal land from law-abiding citizens and lawful property owners, as well as property. In addition, we saw the media attacking America, the media attacking Trump, South Africa's ambassador assault America with his verbal diarrhea. The foreign minister assault America with his verbal diarrhea. The list goes on and on. Trump bombed the nuclear capabilities of Iran this year. What an incredibly busy, crazy year. Something else, guys. Got to tell you, this was quite the year, to say the least. And it's just something else. I'm not going to be able to greet everybody here, but welcome to a few of you here. Antoinette, Chris, Expats, Penn, Bloodcup. Enjoyed the war stories. Oh, that was from last night, yes. 1440. No, I haven't seen that. And then what's your general view of predictions for next year? Oh, Anton, that's let me do the news. Let's save that, okay? None of the emoticons are working. Really? That's odd. Strange. You, as a member, that's something you pay for. What's going on, YouTube? So hot the steaks are coming into the house to cool down. That's crazy. Well, that's there. It is 28 degrees here, which is below zero Celsius. 28 degrees Fahrenheit is 4 degrees below freezing. So everything is locked up like ice outside. Welcome back. Let's get to the news here, folks. If you caught Dr. Hammond earlier, that was a fascinating conversation with him. We haven't had him on this year. I think it's the first time I actually had him on throughout the year because it's been such a busy year. But I did speak to the Reformation Society earlier this year when I was in Cape Town. Always welcome there with a warm heart by those folks. Yep. All right. Let me just go ahead and start with the news here. Yes, Patrick Blair Brown, you can email me. Whether I get to it or not may be the challenge. And if one of the mods can put the email address up, please do that. Chris Ehlers, what's going on, my friend? Okay, so Israel recognized Somaliland to undermine Somalia's UN Security Council presidency, says the EFF. You know, they might be right. They might be right. I mean, it's absolutely comical that Somalia is on the United Nations Security Council, one of the rotating seats. It's it's absolutely crazy. Wow. Israel's recognition of Somaliland as an independent state is an attempt to destabilize Somalia and delegitimize its presence in the United Nations Security Council in the same manner the United States undermines South Africa's G20 presidency. No. See, that's a lie of the EFF. The United States did not undermine South Africa's G20 presidency. South Africa undermined the principles of the G20 with its behavior throughout the course of the year when it was in charge, and also undermined the principles and the purpose and the founding guiding standards of the G20 by turning it into a beggar's bowl and a racial grievance society, which is what the G20 became under South Africa's presidency. So no, you're wrong. The so-called Somaliland will give Israel political, economic, and trade footing in the Horn of Africa and provide a destination for the remaining Palestinians who have survived ethnic cleansing, as the Islamic world has refused to partake in any resettlement program which is premised on the annexation of the land of the Palestinian people. What? So-called Somaliland is a functioning government, a functioning society that has lived peacefully for 30 years, unlike the rest of Somalia. And it will allow ethnic cleansing. How will recognizing Somaliland allow ethnic cleansing anywhere? That's just utterly ridiculous. The economic freedom funders are just a bunch of idiotic morons running around in prison suits. They really need their heads checked. South Africa's government brands Israel's Somaliland recognition as ironic and cynical. Actually, South Africa's position is ironic, cynical, and hypocritical. South Africa's ambassador to the United Nations, Matu Joini, said sharply criticized Israel's recent recognition, calling it ironic and cynical in light of Israel's refusal to recognize Palestinian statehood. What are they talking about? Israel has withdrawn and allowed the Palestinian Authority to govern those areas. They're not ignored Palestine. See, I love how they twist this around and lie about it. It was Israel that proposed a two-state solution under Ehud Barak, and the Palestinians rejected it. They don't want a two-state solution. That's just the latest position of nonsense from a weakened Palestinian side that has no basis, no power, no control. And so now that, we want a two-party state. They don't want a two-party state. They don't want two states. Two-state solution. They want to kill the Jews. They want to kill the Christians. They want to obliterate civilization in Israel. A multiracial, multi-ethnic, multi-religious, democratic society. They can't tolerate that because they're fascist, totalitarian, 13th century lunatics. That's what they want. That's what they want. They don't want a two-state solution. This is utter nonsense. The recognition constitutes violation of the Federal Republic of Somalia's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Actually, that's not true. Somalia as a republic did not exist when Somaliland was created. Siad Barre's government completely collapsed. The country devolved into utter chaos and balkanization. There was no Republic of Somalia when Somaliland founded itself. There wasn't one. So it's utter nonsense, poppycock, balderdash, BS, pure fiction. Thank you, Lana Rhodes, for the 350 Rand super chat. Clouds are gathering. I thought we were done with crowds with clouds for the year. I was beginning to wonder if we weren't going to get more. Yeah, there was no Republic of Somalia. The current Republic of Somalia was constituted after Somaliland was created. So if anything, it's a threat to Somaliland, not the other way around. Absolutely ridiculous, the nonsense that the EFF engages in here, and this ANC. They have no idea what they're talking about. The recognition constitutes a violation of Federal Republic of Somalia's sovereignty and territorial integrity and a direct threat to peace. How is a functioning state, Crispin Peary, a threat to peace? Somalia is a threat to peace. Somali pirates coming from Mogadishu and from Somalia proper, like Kismayu, are a threat to peace and to international maritime traffic. Somaliland is not a threat to peace. They're not fighting with their neighbors. They get along with Eritrea and Ethiopia and Puntland. Go on my channel, look for it. Go look under videos. Gosh, I don't understand. How do people not know how to find things on YouTube? Let me go there. I'll get to my channel and show you what you got to do here. Your channel. Okay, so I'll interrupt this to do this now. Okay, so here's my channel loading up. Okay, so you just go to videos. Okay, it's also there. It says for you. So what the hell is that? I gotta be right back. Someone's at my door, folks. I'll be right back. Do we still have an audience? Do we still have an audience? Yeah, the internet guy rocked up. Do we still have an audience? Sorry about that, guys. How many did we lose? We were at 399 and people that wasn't that long ago. So anyway, so that was the carrier. So here's the deal. For years, I've been telling people that at the carrier, but here's the problem. This technician is a fantastic guy, great guy. He worked till 7 o'clock last night to solve this problem, and he came by today to tell me why it's fixed. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. This is in South Africa. I didn't get shot or anything like that. Hey, Dante, what's going on? So it's not my house. My house was, the coax was rewired a few years ago. Everything's good. The technician came out again. It's not the modem. The problem is there's interference on the line, but not here. So he was able to come into the neighborhood last night and found that a module was malfunctioning. So he replaced the module. That was the first problem. That module was probably failing because of the problem he later traced down. He went through the neighborhood and he went to the end of the street. At the end of this little development, which only has like 42 houses, there is a street that was a cul-de-sac. And it was the end where there used to be forest there and a field next to it. Well, that field is being developed now for another development that's going in. But they put in a cable line, probably not even Comcast, but a subcontractor, because they hire people to do this all the time, who put the cable line for a house that's never been built on a lot that's now not going to be developed. So that cable line was laying open and exposed. And so the interference was coming from that. And it would change based on the weather and the sun and stuff. So there you have it. For 6 or 7 years, I've been telling these people about this problem. And there you go. That's what it was. So hopefully that solves the problem. But I mean, it's so frustrating. But here's the bottom line. Do you know what I had to do to get this level of care? I had to make a complaint to the federal government. So here's the thing. For those of you who come to America as refugees, crap works here. I wrote to the Federal Communications Commission on Sunday night. On Monday afternoon, I got a phone call from a high-level technician for Comcast. And that person took on my case, and now we have a technician who is able to go out and check the external lines, and he resolved the problem that I've been dealing with for years. There you go. Now, I can't guarantee we're not going to have a problem. That's what he said. He said, because of construction, the people do things that mess up the lines. And I told him, I said, I'm still not getting my full gigabyte of speed. I told him, I said, I'll just whine to the cable company, tell them give me more money back for not having the speed. But the upload, which is what matters the most. Speed tests, I can do one right now. I just did one. So when I started live, I was getting 650 of download. It should be a gigabyte, but it's also during the day, so it's a little slower sometimes. And I was getting 30 megabytes of upload. But remember, I'm streaming at 4.8 megabytes right now. You're getting 4.8 megabytes of data coming through. Now, not all of you are drawing 4.8 megabytes and you're in, but I'm sending 4.8 megabytes. So this was at 29, so that takes me up about 30 something. So I'm going to test it again. Here you go, folks. Let's test this. You can see what's going on. Okay, there you go. Look at that. That's the upload speed. So 631 is the download, and 33. Add 5 to that, and that's 39. So there you go. There you go. There you go. So finally, we have potentially resolved this nightmare of a problem that's been going on for ages. No, it's not YouTube. It's not even my provider. It's someone who did a faulty job. And the problem is that they fob you off. This is what these big companies do, whether it's a telecommunications company, a mobile company, or a cable company. They will fob you off and always blame it on something else. And how many modems did we waste? I've replaced the modem 4 or 5 times. It doesn't cost me anything. Upload does seem low. It does, CCS. It should be 1 gigabyte. It was actually Tim doing his job. He was not high level, just competent. Okay. No, the high level was the service rep who I talked to. I got above the customer service reps to the people that are up here. So I made a complaint to the FCC. Real father didn't want to do the program now after almost 1 year. He decided to do it. Well, okay, Dante, that's fascinating. You mean your birth father. Now stop fiddling. Be quiet, Alan. Marissa said, hang in there. Keep the faith. The club at the end of the street. Yeah, anyway, so thank you all for hanging around. I appreciate your patience. We thought the Amish folk. Nah, the Amish are good people, man. Yeah, sorted for now, Stephen Northkey. Let's hope this is good. Takes one good man to actually go and check. Exactly. It takes one good man to go down. There's a song. Takes one good man to go down line. The lineman for the county. There you go. So, yeah, his name was Josh. It was very helpful. We were trying to solve the mystery of the missing colonel. Well, no, Carl Niehaus found me, man. Carl Niehaus knocked at my door. Hello, it's Carl Niehaus. Are you a racist? Are you a racialist? Barbara's still there. Okay. Thank you for welcoming me back. Good. I'm glad you guys hung around. It's very kind of you. Can't hit the like button if I only stare at a chair. Well, you're not staring at a chair. Now you can hit the like button. I was going to play a song, but when I play a song, people leave. It wasn't another YouTube award. No. What? Oh, Leslie never completed the questionnaire. Well, it's okay. You've done it now. It wasn't a secret mission. Yeah, it's the longest I've been gone for a stream for someone at the door. I've never been gone that long. But there you go. Earth to Chris, born refugee. I'm back. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Speaking of Carl Niehorst, nice Carl Niehaus. Stop that. Stop that. You made me say it, Kevin. Carl Niehaus. Yeah, Alan does my music. All right, let's get back to it. I've got some news about Carl Niehaus. Yeah. You and Willie should sing together. No, you don't want me singing, man. That is not a recipe for healthy stuff. All right, by the way, let me just break in right now. We got 412 people. My deep thanks to those who saw my short last night and responded to help a South African in need. This is one of the viewers of the channel who was suddenly homeless, that's applied for the program, is waiting to depart, had no resources, and was sleeping on the streets, sleeping rough essentially, and no food. I contacted Carl to get her food socks, but we can't deliver food socks to no delivery point. We could actually get it to her. There's a way to do that. He has a way to do that, he said. But the problem is, where would she cook it safely and eat her food? Someone heard of her plight. I don't know if it was through our channel or otherwise, but during the night last night after I made the appeal, someone who knows her provided accommodation. She has a flat to stay in for a bit. For a few weeks. We may need help again if she doesn't get out in the meantime, so stay tuned for that. Also, a kind donor offered 3,000 Rand to help her in need. I told her not to spend the 3,000 Rand on the food. We'll get you food socks and use that money for your other needs. All right. So there you go. I want to thank everybody who jumped in there. I mean, I don't do that very often, but I really, I mean, I can't help hundreds of thousands of people are homeless every night, but I really, this one I was just drawn to do it. So I haven't disclosed who the person is, but yeah, they also need to see a GP about a script. So that's another thing. All right. So EFF is pretty stupid, and so is Carl Niehaus. But we'll get to him now. So where did I leave off at? Anyway, so go to on the channel, go under videos, and you'll find it. So it'll be listed. Although I didn't see it listed as the most recent one, so it's not there. So you can also go to the lives. I'm sorry, not videos. Go to lives. Yeah, you want to go under lives. So if you go under live, that's where you do. So on the channel, if you're on the channel, you go to live. You got videos. You got shorts. Here's shorts. And then you've got live. So you click on the live. And then the live will have all the lives. So this one's currently live with a red button down there. Then the Dr. Hammond is right there to the right. Then last night's Night Owls, the news yesterday, Night Owls the night before, the Cafe Clutch, the Stolze family, then the Sunday edition. Yeah, there you go. And so that's all of the lives right there. So it just keeps on coming. So that's, let me see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's like 20 of these just in the month of December. 20 times. That's over 80 live streams this month alone. It's more than that. Okay. Yep. Well, that's the power, James Warren, of the Wyatt Army. We have a force of folks, subscribers, and members that are spread across the world, but particularly in South Africa. And many of them have the resources, the means to help others. And there you go. Yeah, slow month, Sean. It's a slow month. Yeah, no, well, thanks to people who've assisted. We've got a 3,000 Rand donation. We've also got a combination, and we're going to have food for this person. So, yeah, we can't help everybody, but this was a particularly difficult case that had to be addressed. So, Ramaphosa dismisses the referendum on Western Cape in secession. Yep. Speaking in Parliament, President Ramaphosa has given a clear indication that he has no intention of holding a referendum to test public opinion for secession of any part of South Africa. Well, he doesn't have to. The Western Cape can hold a referendum. KZN can hold a referendum. They don't need the national government. The founding provisions of our Constitution state the Republic of South Africa is one sovereign democratic state. Yeah? He made the statement while responding to parliamentary questions to EFF MP Tabelo Mochale, who asked whether he intends to hold a referendum to test public opinion for or against secession of the Western Cape, the creation of a Volksstaat for Afrikaners or Western Cape independence. Why? What do you mean Volksstaat? There's no Volksstaat. More distractionary fantasies from the EFF. Anyway, he said the Constitution obliged him to defend the supreme law of land and promote unity of the nation. That's true. But that doesn't mean that folks cannot seek self-determination, which is a key component of South Africa's constitution. So in response to something posted on Twitter, this is what Carl Niehaus had to say. People like you are a good reason why we should have planted more bombs. We are far too reconciliatory towards you white racists. It is because we were too soft that we now have to put up with the racist enclaves of Oranje and Kleinfontein, racist idiots like Kali Creel and Ernst Roets, and the general racist arrogance of people like you. Mandela meant well, but he was naive about how racist and evil to the core many whites are. He was far too soft. If we were more decisive in the past, we would not have had to put up with your nonsense now. It's high time that we once and for all deal decisively with the likes of you. Wow. So Carl Niehaus spewing criminal injuria, slander, and making public threats against people in South Africa. Wow. Wow. Carl Niehaus, the kettle is calling the pot black, calling people racist. Perhaps he should look in the mirror. His comments are definitely along those lines. That's pretty sad to see. But Carl Niehaus, we'll talk more about him. I'll make a video about him a little bit later on. Yeah. Yep, what a clown. What a self-loathing bigot. AfriSam has an Asian buyer. No, a Chinese buyer. South Africa, one of its largest cement manufacturers, is going to be sold down the river to the Chinese. Major shakeup coming South African cement sector as China Link Group moves to take full control of AfriSam, one of the country's established construction materials group. According to a notice from Botswana's Competition and Consumer Authority, West International New Building Materials, through its parent company, West China Cement, has applied to buy 100% of AfriSam holdings. Based in Joburg, AfriSam has operations across the country and subsidiaries, including in Botswana. So the Chinese taking over one of your important construction sources. Yep, selling you down the river to the Chinese. Well, that Cedarburg fire is 80% contained as of earlier this morning. Thousands of hectares were scorched. Look at those flames, man. That's crazy. Massive wildfire continues to rip through the Cedarburg Mountains, scorching more than 34,000 hectares since it started Monday last week. Large sections of the fire are contained, but is far from over, with multiple active fire lines still burning in steep and hard-to-reach terrain. Well, South Africa. Let's talk about this story here, folks. This one's pretty interesting. So the Department of National Relations and Cooperation has devised various strategies to counter the claims of so-called white genocide. These strategies include establishing a so-called South Africa USA Situation Room and a dedicated communication media plan. Ronald Lamola, Ministry of International Relations and Cooperation, revealed this information in response to a written parliamentary question from MK Party. Kanyasile Lichtveld Shabalala, an MP from the MK Party, wanted to ask Lamola knew whether the government had taken any steps to address the allegations of white genocide proactively with a sustained international counter-communication strategy. According to DIRCO, two of its divisions, those for public, respectively, diplomacy, and that for Europe and the Americas, and a situation room were established to counter the propaganda. The U.S. desk, along with African Public Diplomacy, also has an aid memoir, a memorandum drawn up for South African missions in the abroad, and points to discussions on relations between South Africa and the U.S. This is domestically and with missions abroad shared to convey the message of their daily interaction with the host countries. Well, this is just all poppycock. So the South African government is using disinformation to counter facts. Wow. The cat has been moved, folks. He's transferred to the Imbongweni Correctional Facility. They won't comment on his security arrangements. Check out that sexy suit he's wearing. It's purple. Alleged cartel member and attempted murder accused Vusi Muzi Kat Mlatla has been transferred to the Imbongweni Museum in KZN. Wow. Department spokesperson Singa Bakolo Noxmalo said the transfer of remand detainees and sentence offenders between correctional facilities is a standard operating procedure. So they just moved him. Why did he get moved? Why did they move the cat? Well, the rand is set for its biggest gain in 16 years as the dollar has fallen on hard times this year, and the rand inexplicably has risen. The rand is poised to end the year with the biggest jump since 2009 as the dollar's weakness combined with the political stability at home bolstered the nation's allure for investors. The currency has jumped 13% against the dollar, and I told you why. Why did I say it's jumped against the dollar? Propaganda and the buying of bonds driving up. Overseas investors bought a net of $72.4 billion of local currency bonds. That compares with only $15.6 billion the previous year. Also, the dollar is headed for its worst decline in 8 years against a basket of major currencies. But this is not sustainable. It will not continue. Aspen Pharma is selling its Asian assets for nearly 27 billion rand to get rid of the debt. What debt? We gave you $711 million. What did you pigs do with the money? Aspen said not plan the disposal, but the group made an unsolicited offer the company deemed worthy of a binding offer. Johannesburg Stock Exchange listed Aspen Pharmacare plans to sell its Asian Pacific assets, excluding China, for $26.5 billion to Australian-based private investment firm BGH Capital. South Africa's biggest pharmaceutical producer said in a statement on Monday, the 29th of December, that it has entered into binding agreements for the sale of 100% of its equity interest in intellectual property assets in Australia, New Zealand, and other Asia-Pacific regions, excluding China. So it's holding on to the China piece. Yes. Lucky escape for 4 people who nearly went over the dam. Yes. Crazy. Groot-Draai Dam. Look at that. 4 people rescued after they were trapped in a motorboat hanging off the dam wall at the Groot-Draai Dam in Standerton, Mpumalanga. That's crazy. N17 emergency response said the incident unfolded around 6:45 p.m., prompted an urgent call for assistance from Delta One Rescue, leading to a swift response from emergency teams. They had to open the sluice gates to lower the water levels so that they didn't go over. There they are. Look at 4 people rescued. Crazy. Be careful out there, man. Pay attention. Don't fall asleep when you're drinking and float towards the dam edge. Well, I would never ask Rossi for game plans. So says Ackerman, as suddenly 4 Springboks assistant coaches make their way to rescue the floundering Bulls franchise. Bulls coach Johan Ackerman said rumors the Springbok assistant coaches are helping them with the game models are unfounded. Pretoria-based franchise requested the assistance of Springboks defense coach Jerry Flannery, along with Dwayne Vermeulen, Felix Jones, Andy Edwards on a short-term deal. It's not been well received in many rugby circles, but Ackerman insists it's a matter of getting a fresh pair of eyes as they're in a moment of crisis. Yes, but I thought the problem was Jake White. Isn't the problem Jake White? No, it wasn't. It's underperforming players. It's the Bulls. It's the Bulls. Well, Zimbabwe is getting an upgrade to the Hwange power plant, adding 400 megawatts. I'll believe it when I see it. They'll add 400 megawatts to its power grid, 1/5 of the country's electricity demand, under a $455 million upgrade to the Hwange coal-fired power plant. They signed a 15-year concession with the Africa-focused unit of India's Jindal Steel for refurbishment of the thermal power plant's aging units. ZISA, Zimbabwe Electricity Authority, signed this deal. Well, we'll see what happens. I wouldn't hold my breath. Red hot copper is lifting Zambia's currency, the kwacha, along with other currencies. Look at those plates of copper. Zambia's kwacha rose during a rally in the currencies of other African metal producers as the surge in the price of copper promises to boost export earnings. Copper is soaring in no small part because apparently people have been stockpiling copper in America in anticipation of the tariffs driving up the price of copper. Artificial demand to get a stockpile in America. Young Africans find hope in farming as urban life becomes too expensive. That's interesting. People moving away from the cities and back to the countryside. In Senegal, on a blazing afternoon, 33-year-old farmer Philly Mangasa heaved peanut plants into a horse-drawn cart, sending clouds of dust swirling. 10 years ago, he left his village for the capital, dreaming of becoming a professor. But the high cost of living and lack of jobs put that dream out of reach. After COVID, companies weren't hiring and prices were rising. So I thought, my father and my grandfather farmers, why not use that experience to go back to my hometown and try to make a living in agriculture? Across much of Africa, farming has long been seen as low-status work, pushing young people to cities in search of office jobs. But now that perception is changing. Rising food price, investments in irrigation, access to new technology make agriculture more profitable. This guy's part of a trend of young Africans leaving cities to try their luck at farming. He says he makes a profit around $3,500 a year, far above Senegal's average yearly income of $2,500. So his profit is $3,500. That exceeds the per capita income by about 45%. This story in the New York Times, claims that cheap solar is making a bid all across Africa, except this is a dishonest story. It's about South Africa. Cheap solar is transforming lives and economies across Africa. Chinese panels are now so affordable that businesses and families are snapping them up, slashing their bills and challenging utilities. But that's not Africa, that's South Africa. Cape Town. Ismet Booley, a dentist in Cape Town, had a serious problem a few years ago. Patients showed up for appointments only to find the power gone out. No power meant no x-rays, no fillings, no root canals. It just couldn't work. South Africans like Dr. Booley have been found a remedy. Thanks to swiftly falling price of Chinese-made solar panels and batteries, they draw their power from the sun. Yeah, this has happened at a startling speed. Solar has risen almost from nothing in 2019 to roughly 10% of South Africa's electricity generation. No longer South Africans depend entirely on a giant coal-burning power plants that define how people worldwide get their electricity for more than a century. Yes, but this is South Africa, not Africa. This story says it's Africa. One mention of Sierra Leone there and Chad, but the rest, these are all South Africa. That's Cape Town. This is all about South Africa. Every image here is South Africa. Hout Bay, Stellenbosch, Tygerberg. All South Africa. Even this is South Africa. But the story says Africa. So misleading New York Times story once again. That's what I call fake news. Misleading with clickbait. Saudi Arabia bombed the living bejesus out of Yemen port city over weapons shipment from the United Arab Emirates. Airstrikes escalate tensions between two longtime Persian Gulf allies and create a headache for the Trump administration. Not really. Let them kill each other. Trump threatens Iran with more military action if it revives its nuclear and missile programs. Well, there you go. Consequences will be very powerful, maybe more powerful than last time, said Trump. He said Iran may be behaving very badly, and where there's smoke, there's fire. If they are, we're going to have no choice but very quickly to eradicate that buildup. We know exactly where they're going, what they're doing, and I hope they're not doing it. Oh, Trump has put down a marker warning the Iranians. Iran's president says that he has an answer if Trump attacks. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian on Tuesday said his country's answer to an attack would be harsh, which appeared to be in response to a warning by U.S. President over the reconstruction of the nuclear program. Answer of Islamic Republic of Iran to any cruel aggression will be harsh and discouraging. Sorry, I'm quaking in my boots at Tehran's declaration. It's terrifying. U.S. says that it killed or captured 25 ISIL operatives in Syria in a 9-day period. Central Command says military campaign follows killing of U.S. soldiers and massive strikes across central Syria. U.S. Central Command partners across Syria killed at least 7 ISIS members and captured the raider during 11 missions conducted the 20th to 29th. They did not identify those who were targeted. U.S. has as many as 2,000 soldiers to Syria to fight ISIL, a campaign that started in 2014. ISIL once controlled large areas of Syria and Iraq from 2014 to 2019. Despite the group's territorial defeat, U.S. officials say ISIL remnants continue to pose a threat to the region. So, Chinese military drills threatening Taiwan once again. Beijing directs message at foreign forces with exercises around island. China launched major military exercise in the waters and airspace around Taiwan in what it calls a stern warning against outside interference in Chinese affairs. The drills follow the Trump administration's mid-December approval of one of the largest packages of arms sales ever to Taiwan. The approval is valued over $11 billion, led Beijing to impose sanctions on 20 U.S. defense companies and 10 executives. Well, China is a rogue state and needs to be put in its place. And here they are, pushing to master the Arctic, even though they have no Arctic territorial space. National security officials say Chinese submarines and icebreakers pose a new military threat from the high north. This is a Chinese expedition in the Arctic back in August. In August, the water's frozen. I thought we had global warming. Yep. So here is where China is trying to circumvent the Arctic. Northern Sea Route. A Chinese container ship sailed to Europe in half the time of traditional southern routes this fall. Chinese Coast Guard ships joined Russian border ships last summer and patrols about 440 miles southwest of St. Lawrence Island in the United States. 2 Chinese research submarines explored the depths here this summer along the North Pole. Wow. The Chinese are a serious problem, folks. They pose a danger to the world. France pushes back on the ban of plastic cups. I was in France for the 2023 Rugby World Cup, and it was beyond annoying that we could not have plastic cups. Their virtue signaling, just like San Francisco, is foolhardy and stupid. Plastic cups and straws are not the problem. Lazy pigs throwing their rubbish into rivers is the problem. The French government Tuesday postponed a ban of plastic throwaway cups by 4 years to 2030 because of difficulties finding alternatives. But I couldn't get a plastic straw when I was in France. The ban was meant to start January 1st, but the Ministry of Ecological Transition said the technical feasibility of eliminating plastic cups from cups following your review justified pushing back the deadline. Yeah, well, France needs to just abandon this stupidity because it doesn't serve any purpose. Plastic will break down into its constituent parts in the soil in about 8 to 10,000 years. There'll be people here. We won't be. I didn't see that, Helen. Well, they say that 2025 is one of the hottest years on record. That could very well be. On record. And how far back do records go? 10,000 years? A million years? No. 100 years plus. Climate change worsened by human behavior in 2025, with one of the 3 hottest years on record, according to scientists. It's also the first time that 3-year temperature average broke through the threshold set in 2015 Paris Agreement of limiting warming to no more than 1.5 degrees since pre-industrial times. If we don't stop burning fossil fuels very, very quickly, very soon, it will be very hard to keep the goal, said Frederica Otto, co-founder of World Weather Attribution and the Imperial College London climate scientist. Aren't those the people that fake the data, the UK climate scientist? Wow. Wow. So they identified 157 extreme weather events, meaning they met criteria causing more than 100 deaths. Trump says that land-based facility in Venezuela was hit very hard with their drone attack earlier this month. President Trump said the facility in Venezuela was knocked out by the military as the U.S. continues its war on drugs and puts pressure on Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. There was a major explosion in the dock area where they loaded the boats up with drugs. It's the implementation area, and it's no longer around. President Trump upended the federal government this year. The full scope of the impact is still unknown, says the New York Times. Yes. President Trump has made unparalleled change to the federal government, shrinking its footprint both in services provided and the size of its workforce. Pledged in February to make the government smaller, more efficient, more effective, and a lot less expensive. And he's doing it. Agriculture Department lost 20,000 workers, 1/5 of its total staff. So, shrinking government. Boeing wins a massive contract for $8.57 billion for new F-15 fighters for Israel. Huh. That's a photograph of U.S. F-15 taking off during exercise Juniper Falcon between Israeli Air Forces at Ovda Military Air Base in southern Israel back in 2017. Ovda Air Base. I used to live there. I lived at Ovda Air Base back in the 1990s. Yes, after the Gulf War. I spent 5 months living at that base. Boeing secured an $8.57 billion U.S. Air Force contract to design, produce, and deliver a new fleet of advanced F-15s. Covers production of 25 F-15 India Alpha aircraft. Yep. Initial funding, $840 million, was obliged at the time of the award. So there you go. Cool beans. Exactly, Karen. That's why I'm saying it's the hottest on record. Well, the records only go back 100 and some years. We don't have records from 1300 for weather. Meta, Facebook, is buying an AI startup, Manus, for more than $2 billion. One of the first in which a major tech company has bought a startup with Chinese roots. Oh, here he goes, little Mark Zuckerberg. Meta Platforms agreed to acquire AI startup Manus, a Singapore-based company with Chinese founders that conducts deep research and performs other tasks for paying users. It's closing the deal at more than $2 billion. Manus' co-founder and chief executive Xiao Hong, who often goes by the nickname Red, will report to Javier Olafan, chief operating officer of Meta, according to those with inside information about the deal. Social Security has gotten worse under Trump, says the Washington Post. Customer service deteriorated by key measures as the agency enacted sweeping cuts in Trump's second term, internal data and interviews show. The sprawling federal agency that delivers retirement, disability, and survivor benefits to 74 million Americans began the second Trump administration with a hostile takeover. It ends the year in turmoil. Diminished workforce has struggled to respond to up to 6 million pending cases for its processing centers and 12 million transactions in its field offices. Record backlogs that have delayed basic services to millions of customers. Long-strained customer service and Social Security have become worse by many key measures since President Trump began his second term. Exaggerated claims of fraud, for example, led to new roadblocks for elderly beneficiaries, disabled people, and legal immigrants. Yeah, I don't know that I'm buying that story. I mean, they're talking about how the government's been reduced and it isn't responsive. But on Sunday, I wrote to the FCC online, filling an online form. On Monday afternoon, Comcast called me to tell me that they're working my case after 6 years of ignoring me. By Monday evening at 7 o'clock, the problem had been resolved, and today the technician came by to personally inform me about what was going on. There you go. There you go. Democrats aim to put the spotlight on Republican efforts to rewrite the January 6th Capitol riot. Well, of course, the New York Times, no one's trying to rewrite January 6th. People are trying to tell the truth about January 6th. I am a witness to the events of January 6th. I have video footage and photographs of all kinds of shenanigans taking place there, not being done by protesters who were lawfully and legally gathered under the First Amendment right to seek redress from the government. Yes, people trespass in the building, but that's a consequence of no law enforcement presence. I mean, the number of law enforcement officials there wearing bicycle helmets and carrying nightsticks, not firearms. No measures, no jersey barriers, no fencing, no nothing. It was a setup. And so that's the bottom line. On the 5th anniversary of the attack, it wasn't an attack, which falls Tuesday, Democrats plan to hold an informal hearing to review President Trump's clemency for the rioters. Well, they can review it all they want. They can't override it. And GOP attempts to sanitize the event. Nobody's sanitizing. We're just telling the truth, Michael Gold. You're the one lying. Yep. In the years since that disgraceful day, far-right Republicans in Congress repeatedly attempt to rewrite history and whitewash the events, says Hakeem Jeffries. The mob of Trump loyalists that attacked the Capitol that day caused millions of dollars damage. That's a lie. Injured more than 140 police officers. That's also a lie. And for the first time in U.S. history, interrupt the certification of presidential election. There weren't even 140 police officers present. You want to see the video footage? There were more like 30 present. 5 takeaways from Netanyahu and Trump meeting, according to the Epoch Times. Israel prize was awarded Trump. The first time since the nation was founded in 40, the prize was being awarded to a non-Israeli. The president has warned Iran. I just talked about that. And Trump says Hamas must disarm. They're not disarming. And expansion will be coming to the Abraham Accords. That's exciting. Last month, Kazakhstan indicated it would join the Abraham Accords. Wow. It's mostly symbolic because they have diplomatic relations with Israel dating back to 1992. And he talked about Turkey, Syria, and Lebanon. So that's the updates there. Prager University's pro-American presidential rankings survey puts Washington's first, George Washington first, and Joe Biden last. Look at that evil bastard. Presidential rankings tend to reward those on the left and penalize those on the right, which is where Prager University comes in. The conservative education and media outlet said it sought to provide a fuller, more balanced picture with its first presidential ranking survey using a flexible methodology and including scholars, historians, media figures, and politicians typically overlooked for such ratings despite their expertise. For decades, most presidential rankings come from a narrow, left-leaning perspective. Our presidential ranking survey sets out to broaden the conversation by inviting voices and viewpoints that are often ignored. Now, they kept a few people out of this because they simply didn't have enough time. So, modern Democrats tend to fare poorly. Bringing up the rear was Joe Biden, who ranked 42nd out of 42, behind perennial basement dwellers Andrew Johnson and James Buchanan. Also at the bottom 10 were Lyndon Johnson, Barack Obama, and Jimmy Carter. William Henry Harrison and James Garfield, because of the brevity of their terms, were left out of it, as was Donald Trump. You can't judge him on his totality because he's still in his office. Yeah, it is. They can't forget about January 6th, but they certainly forgot about their crimes and COVID. So let's look at Prager University's poll. 155 people took part in the survey. So George Washington got an average of 9.75, rated as the best president in American history, followed by Abraham Lincoln and Ronald Reagan. I like that, except I would put Reagan 2 and Lincoln 3. Lincoln suspended habeas corpus. Calvin Coolidge was a very good president, but he was maligned by the left. Jefferson, Eisenhower, James Monroe, James Madison, John Adams, Theodore Roosevelt, Grover Cleveland, Harry Truman. Andrew Jackson would not rate 13th of mine. Andrew Jackson would rate near the bottom. He was a racist bigot and a land thief. Kennedy, that's about where I put him, 18th. Grant, I would put lower. John Quincy Adams, I would move up. Taft, I would put higher. Franklin Roosevelt would be much lower than 20th. He was an atrocious president. Absolutely disgusting and useless. Yep. And then down here, Lyndon Johnson would be one of the lowest. He was a racist, bigot pig, too, who brought us debt and the Great Society, which isn't great. Joe Biden is the worst. The worst one. Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise. Not at all. Walmart had a major outage with its app, and 6,500 Walmart customers couldn't access the app on their website earlier today. It was fixed by 8 a.m. Well, that's good. 6,500 people using it before 8 a.m. It started at 7. Users reported difficulty with an inability to check out. It was fixed by 8 a.m. There you go. And that, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, Barack Obama should be next to last, just ahead of Joe Biden, is your news for today, with a little break in the stream for me to rush out and talk to the technician from the cable company. That was entertaining, wasn't it? That was fun. Anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed that and you got something useful from the broadcast. Never heard of James Buchanan. Well, I have, of course, I'm an American. Monroe Doctrine keep coming up. The Monroe Doctrine? The Monroe Doctrine is simply a statement by James Monroe that the Western Hemisphere is not a playground for colonial powers. Stay out. The Trump Doctrine says the same thing. You're welcome, work people. It's my pleasure. No, it wasn't Jim Carrey, but it was a cable guy. You're welcome. Biden was a joke. Indeed he was. Indeed he was. Heard on Biz News that President Ramaphosa published a letter in a Foreign Policy magazine, apparently a very aggressive letter. I didn't know that. Let me look and see. Ramaphosa, he did one a long time ago. He did one in 2024, I think. Just recently? Yeah, no, he was associated with a pugilistic piece in 2019, which signaled a non-compromising stance. Yep, that's the one. He's also got one, let me see. We did one in February. Yeah, is this the one they're talking about? Israel's actions strike at the foundations of international law, which is just poppycock. He was one of the co-authors. He didn't write anything. He's not that bright. Yeah. And then he did one back. The Institute for Race Relations commented on this back when it was published. If South Africa losing American aid, possibly being frozen out of American trade privileges, even being hit with American sanctions prompts are concerned. President Ramaphosa's comments at last Thursday's Goldman Sachs conference should have us positively apoplectic. After the dust settles, he wants to do a deal with the U.S., Donald Trump. We don't want to go and explain ourselves. We want to go and do a meaningful deal with the U.S. on a whole range of issues. I'm very positively inclined to promote a good relationship with Trump. That's a lie. It's good that he's moving away from relying on explanations to resolve the current impasse. But anyway. Yeah, so that's the Institute of Race Relations wrote about this in March, but of course what Ramaphosa did was beyond the pale. So he wrote back in 2019, but he also did this one back in March in Foreign Policy. I don't know if that's what they're talking about, but yeah, I reported on that earlier this year. What remains the international order? For more than 500 days, Israel, enabled by powerful nations providing diplomatic cover, military hardware, and political support, has systematically violated international law in Gaza. That's not true. That's not true. This complicity has dealt devastating blow to the integrity of the United Nations Charter and its founding principles. No, it hasn't. Anyway, so I used to have a subscription to them. I don't anymore. Thank you, Justainer, for your membership. Colonel, okay. Never miss your ever informative podcast. Keep up great work. Well, thank you, Francois Creel. Be sure to hit the like button and tell people about the program. I was hoping to make 100,000 subscribers this year. We're going to miss it. We're so close. We have 2 days left, today and tomorrow. Essentially a day and a half because it's late in South Africa. And we are close, but we're not quite there. So let me take a look here at this year. So for this year, we have 99,000 roughly subscribers. Let me see. 98,900. We are 1,100 short, so we're not going to make it to 100,000 a year, but close. If we get another 100 between today and tomorrow, that'll get us to 99,000. That'd be cool to say. Yeah. So this month, I've had 32.6 million views. This year, 32.6. But let me just talk about the last 28 days. So in 2024, this channel had 1.9 million views. We were struggling to get views, really hard. We gained 6,700 subscribers in all of 2024. We had 1.9 million views. In the last 28 days, we've had 2.5 million views. 600,000 more views than we had in 365 days in 12 months last year, in 1 month. And we have more hours watched, and we have 3,100 subscribers in the past month, which wasn't very good growth, but it's half what we had in an entire year last year. That's crazy. That's just crazy. And I'm really grateful for everybody watching the program. Saw a video that said it depends on what period. Yeah, for the weather. Okay. So that was a comedy show. All right. Matthew is only here for the rants. Well, Matthew must be very bored. It's been a while since I've done any rants. Let me take a look at our content, though, folks. It got really slow because of Christmas week. People at the beach in South Africa, people on the road visiting families in the United States. We went from 240,000 views on December 16th to 78,000 on the 20th to just 30,000 views on Christmas Day. But it was a big day. We had nice super chats. Thank you for that, the super chats. 355 likes. Let's get that up to 500. So the refugee offer helped also your channel not only frustrate you. Well, of course, Sandra. Of course it helped. I mean, that's one reason why the channel grew so much. Yeah. No. The frustration is less the refugee aspirants and more the fake news and the lying politicians. That's the frustration. I mean, what more do we have to do to tell them the truth and tell the world the truth? They're lying to people. So 30,000 was the nadir on December 25th. Then the 26th, we hit 53,000. Then the 27th, 62,000. The 28th, 27th, 62, the 28th, 75,000, and yesterday we're back up to 93,900, so almost 94,000. We'll see how we do today. Debbie Fox, clouds are gathering. There's a 350 Rand super chat. Thank you, Debbie. All right, for what you cover, and do you really should be at Asmund Gold subscriber? I don't know what Asmund Gold is. What is that? Yeah. Yes, Sandra, the refugee stuff is frustrating, but the frustrating thing for me mostly is the government and its actions and politicians and the media. The Stoltz family, that video should get a lot more than 15,000 views. It was a live stream, but it's gotten 15,000 views. Let me double check on it if it's done it well. 15,919 total views. So Riff's Hard, 70 Rand super chat coming in. Thank you for the clouds gathering. Yeah, I've gained 15 subscribers from that interview with them. So I need to check on them and see if they're still going to make it up here. 3 days of protests in Iran. I think we touched on that a few days ago when it started. We love your channel with or without the refugee stuff. Well, thank you for that, Sandra. I try. Okay, 3 days of protest. I could have 10-month membership if it weren't for fraud on my bank card. Oh, my goodness. Sorry to hear about fraud on your bank card. Oh, several million subscribers. Okay, thank you. I don't know his account. Thank you, Virtual Western Cape. Yeah, I thought the Stoltz was a very good interview, and a lot more people should see it. But whatever. I'm not complaining about my streams. We have very good audiences for the streams. Pretty good. Although even though it's Christmas and it's been slow, we're still. I mean, the interview with Adriana on the 26th has 13,000 views. The Stomchish had 9,800. That's pretty darn good. My news broadcasts are getting between 3,800 and 7,000 or more per stream for live streams. That's pretty incredible. Lou, thank you for your membership. Great to see you join our Discord. Okay, Lou. Yep. So anyway, cool stuff. Guys, I'm getting... I've been on Discord for years. I just don't go there very often. Last night drove me nuts. Every time I turned around, it was beeping. Okay. So I spent a lot of time yesterday because my internet went down because he had to fix that module up in the neighborhood there, the technician, and everyone on the street lost internet as a consequence of that. So I sat here and worked on my taxes. Do you have a means to check who the first subscriber in this channel of yours was? I don't think I can do that. Somebody showed me I could actually check all the subscribers, but I forget how you can do that. No, got to run away. All right, well, take care, Stephen Nortkia. Take care, man. So this weekend we've got rugby again, but let me take a look what we got for rugby. Is it, I don't think it's URC. I think we're back to the Champions Cup. Or no, it's still URC, or is it? Let me see. Schedule. So this is going to be, actually it'll be January, so I need to go to January. Okay. Be January 3rd and 4th. Anyway, second is Ulster versus Munster. That should be a clash. All right, so then on January 3rd, okay, something's not right here. They've got 3 a.m., the Stormers versus the Bulls, and at 3 a.m., the Bulls versus the Stormers. One at Cape Town, one at Loftus. They've screwed this up, so I'm going to have to work on that. Yeah, so yeah, so that is going to be a huge clash, but that's in Cape Town, if I'm not mistaken. So they don't have, this schedule's all screwed up here. They don't even have, okay, I got to go look at the United Rugby because that thing is just wrong. Okay. Jacques Pinard, Stormers still the main attraction in URC. Yes, they are. They're undefeated. Undefeated. Let me sign into my URC account. Oh, it's telling me it's the wrong. Come on. Come on. Go back to this site. Well, let me get back to the site now. There we go. Match Center. Okay, I want to see the schedule for this weekend. Why is it going to be a long match? The Bulls are going to just roll over and take it up the backside. Okay, so here we go. Now we're getting it straight. Okay, so, all right, these are my local times. So on Friday, we've got the Dragons and Scarlets, another Welsh, and then Osprey and Cardiff, another Welsh. On January 1st, New Year's Day, we've got those Welsh games. It's Thursday, excuse me, that's Thursday. All right, I might watch one of those. Then on Friday, we have Ulster-Munster. That one I'm going to watch. And on Saturday, we've got the Sharks and the Lions in Durban. That's at 8:30 my time. I'll cover that. Then 11 o'clock, the Stormers and Bulls from DHL Stadium. So that takes care of all 4 South African sides, 2 games. And then the rest of the games are kind of nothing exciting. The Edinburgh-Benetton game might be interesting because it's Benetton at home. We'll see. So and then they take a break till the 23rd because of the Champions and Challenge Cup. Yeah, 6 p.m. your time, 11 o'clock my time. That's correct. So the schedule that's on Flow Rugby is all screwed up. Can we not talk about taxes? SARS has had me in the past year without my vessel. Well, I get the same feeling. Thank you, Mike, for the time for that. Appreciate it. Where's Fonz? I haven't seen Fonz in days. Anybody seen him? He hasn't shown up here in days. 16,000. Wow. You got a penalty for being unemployed? How do you get a penalty for being unemployed? Gus says the interview with Dr. Hammond was Victor Davis Hanson quality. By the way, people ask me to get Victor Davis Hanson back on the program. I reached out to his PA, and he's taking a break. His health isn't particularly well right now, so he's not doing anything, and I haven't seen him anywhere, so she's telling me the truth. So Victor Davis Hanson is currently taking a break, and if he gets back in a few months, then I'll have him on. He was working for a change. What did he do? Collect tickets, or was he selling drinks? Andre, you're very welcome. Thanks for being a follower on the channel, and thank you for being here. Everyone that's been here today for us so far. I'm not in a rush now because we got 410 likes. Can we get to 500? Let's see how we've had 2,300 people in for this stream. Matty Dishy. Matthew, if the Stormers lose that game against the Bulls at Loftus, at DHL Greenpoint Stadium this weekend, I will just fall out of my chair. You're welcome, Karen. Coatfoot Ops Medic, can you tell you stories? Okay, I bet he can. Lily is live. Oh, so people are leaving my channel to go to Lily. Well, thank you for sharing that, Just Ainer. Anna Kruger got flamed for that when she put that in last week. It's bad form to disrupt someone's live stream by directing people to another stream. And she took a lot of hate for that. So really not something you want to put on there, okay? You're surprised people didn't attack you. Poor Anna got pummeled last week. Anna, are you here? See how unfair chat can be? Last week, people just came after you for that, and I said it's not a big deal. But people were correct. It's like putting all caps. It's just, it's internet etiquette. It's just rude. Verna says, yeah, I think it's second, third week of January. Yeah, it is. The first weekend is still URC. I don't think people realize just how many people watch this content. Imagine having this chat with 3,000 or 4,000 people in person. Yeah, exactly, Sven Stahlbart. Exactly right. Exactly right. And we haven't had it for a few months, but we were having 1,500, 3,000 people in the live streams. But we're typically getting 500 to 800 people in these live streams, and so I'm chatting with all those people, and people get angry at me. You didn't see my message. Oh, you reacted wrongly, dude. You only put a couple words up there. I mean, I can't read your mind. I'm doing my best. Do you have a means to check? Okay, so Renell asked me that already. All right, I think I'm caught up. Your brief absence is excused. Just happy you did come back and didn't rush out to celebrate your fixer day. Well, I've got to go in the Veterans Organization. Somebody wanted our bylaws, as if the bylaws are going to have an impact. These are people just trying to cause chaos. They claim they mean well. One of them does mean well, but this other person doesn't mean well. So here are our bylaws. We've got them for our Home Association, which is the canteen, also for our post. And they're just very generic. They're basically what the national ones say. And the reason for that is because if it's in your bylaws and you violate it, then you get hit with a fine from the Liquor Control Board, and we can't afford fines. So they revised these in 2021. So there you go. Yep. So that one is the South Mountain Post. Okay. Excuse me. So there you go. And what I had to do is that part of this stuff got pinched off, so the text was, they scanned it, it didn't read it, so I've had to print out a hard copy of it, of the actual drafted document. So I have to give them both so they don't claim, well, you didn't give it the whole thing. Nope, so here they are. So I'll take that copy and give it to somebody who is saying, I sent you a message, I asked for these things. And I said, yeah, you did, but you also promised to give me information about how to fix our gaming machines, and I've been waiting since the 11th of December for that information. Not exactly a priority when the guy just comes and makes complaints and says he has all this information and keeps it to himself so we can't make improvements. So when you offer to help out, okay. No access TV this weekend to watch rugby, already trying to manage my disappointment. Leslie, you can listen to me on Rugby Ascendant. The Platelets live stream is full of a bunch of not knowing anything. What is the Platelets? What is that, Ananda? Hey, Ananda, how's it going? Hey, Phoenix, thank you for saying that. CIA is watching me. Why did that article say Prime Minister Benjamin, but then never refer to President Trump? They do that in the media here. Marceline, nobody knows how long the shutdown will be. We also don't know if there'll be a shutdown, but it's a very real possibility that on the 31st of January, the U.S. government will be shut down again because we don't have approval. Matthew Dixon is drinking battery acid again. You really shouldn't do that, man. It affects your judgment. Bulls 49, Stormers nothing. No. If you're going to claim the Bulls are going to win, be realistic, 23-19 or something like that. Why did that? What else? Predictions for 2026. Everyone keeps asking me that. I predict that the ANC will slump in metropolitan areas. Fractious coalitions will be formed. And I don't know that well, actually, I'm not going to predict that the GNU is going to break apart because it's pretty clear that the DA doesn't care what happens to South Africans. They don't care what happens to South Africans. They just care about what happens to their bank accounts. They made that pretty clear. Let's see while I'm watching the action. Okay, Leslie, cool. Sorry you won't be able to watch it, though. Okay. That sucks. I predict that the U.S. will continue to receive a lot of money from the tariffs. Speaking of which, I'm kind of upset about that. I got rooked. I need to write to those idiots, too, and say, why the hell are you doing this to me? Why are you charging me all of $80 for a $197 order when that's 42% tariff, and the tariff is only 10% from the UK? It used to be nothing. The limit just had is $800. So, will not associate us to protect them, huh? YouTubers rebroadcast parts of his videos. I've never stole his content. Okay, Stormers 33, Bulls 27. Okay, Matthew. Is an honest source, even if we might disagree with some random thing. I trust him. Will he come during, after, and be granted a farm? Who knows? No one's going to grant me a farm. I didn't see that from Chris Wonderful. Chris, send me a note, and I'll get it to the person. Okay. Just need a prescript, that's all. Some antacids. Western Province Mossad listening to. Lana, thank you for looking out for our family earlier. Oh, I didn't see that. So I don't know. Did I look out for Lana's family? I mean, I'm looking out for a lot of people here. But then I have a massive ego, and I'm a disinformation expert, according to these people. So anyway. Don't know what to tell you about that, folks. Don't know what to tell you about that. But anyway, so yeah, no, all the things I do and people attack me. It's just, it's sad. So sad. All right, well, I didn't see that. That whole thing helping that person has become quite the project. All right. Oh, I got something from Cheryl. What's going on? That's from people sending me that stuff. Clickbait. I'm not doing clickbait, guys. Whoops, what happened there? Somebody's account just disappeared on me. There it is. Oh, I got a lot of voice messages here. People are sending me All right, insane. Actually, sad there. People accusing you of all. Well, I've just wrote back to someone who attacked me on TikTok and on other things, and then accused me of all kinds of crap about groups. And they were in a group that's not my group, and they accused me of all kinds of bigotry and stuff like that. I don't even comment in the group. I'm not even in the group. Someone added me to it. I didn't even know I was in the group. And like, your group. And they attacked me on TikTok and they attacked me on Twitter. This is a South African living in America. And I'm like, what the hell is your major malfunction? What are you attributing crap to me that I have nothing to do with? New rumors floating in Facebook that refugees who had flights on January canceled, postponed. Nope. More bullshit artists running their mouths. No more bullshit. I mean, who's saying that? First off, I've never heard from a single refugee with a date that they're flying in January, so I wouldn't be able to confirm whether anyone had a flight that was canceled. I'm not aware of who has flights in January. Although the South Africans are telling, Lily and others about their flights, but they're not telling me. I've got people telling they're going to come in January, but no one said, I'm leaving on the 16th. Actually, that's not true. I have one person tell me a date they're leaving. And that person has never got back and said their flight was canceled. Oh, yeah. Well, Hindtown, I know. I'm the one that broke the story. Leon Schreiber, yes. Yep. No, it is insane and sad, Ingrid. I mean, I don't go attacking these people. Even people who spread misinformation and intentionally lie and mislead people to put them in a bind for their own personal gain, I don't even go out and attack those people if they're not public figures. I just say someone's doing it. You should be on the watch out. But no. But these people attack me by name. They steal my content, they lie about what I say, and they cause chaos, and people are dumb enough to believe it. Yep. Get out of the groups. Yep. Yeah, no, it's so true, and it just goes on and on. And then we have South African media that take a YouTube channel, which at the time had 300 subscribers, from a known misinformation propagandist from the far left, who tells a story that is implausible about Thea von Straten and doxes her and commits slander and criminal injury against me. By the way, I consulted three attorneys in South Africa who told me, and one offered to take a pro bono case to sue that person, but it's not worth the time. It's not worth the time. Yep. The Sodom guy's still in detention. Yep. Nubba says, I'm impressed with the Colonel and what he's doing to help South Africans. As an ex-SAFA Sooty, now living in Scotland, I doff my cap to you. Well, thank you very much. Whereabouts in Scotland are you at? I don't really care for Glasgow. I love Edinburgh. And Napoleon says, another family confirmed earlier that they are called yesterday, what, in our chat? Sue for what? For defamation, slander, and criminal injury. I mean, I have a case based on the lies that were spewed about me. Yep. No, that official, I've not heard anything about him. There are a lot of gullible people, that's true. It's not worth the time. But, you know, I have consulted an attorney, and we'll see. We'll see. Oh, you've been there since your father was killed in 2000. Did you say where? Haggis. We need Mario back. Who is Mario? So the family said they are going to contact as they were supposed to fly next week and got a meal today that their flight has been suspended. All right, well, I didn't see that. So if I have someone to tell me that, I'll if they're going to send it to me, if you're still here, whoever that is, send me a message quickly so I can check into that on this end, okay? All right? There's a lot of people spreading things around, and I'm not going to go off of rumors. I'm going to get verification and stuff. But if that's happened to you, then send it to me. I did use your name, Chris, about January shutdown. What do you mean, Marceline? I don't understand. What does that mean? Use my name for what? Well, there's no January shutdown. There's likely to be one. There isn't one right now. It won't happen until January 31st. Yep. So. Yep. So January 31st is when it will happen, because the continuing resolution lasts through January 30th. But I don't understand your comment. You used my name. What does that mean? Sorry, I don't get it. Now the temperature's warmed up. This says -1, but there it says, because I got it Celsius on here, so 28. Okay. You have ground to sue the living daylights out of this horrible people. I'm truly sorry this happened. No, I can't sue them. Every day I read the chat and see everyone that's late apologizing, feel like family having a family meeting. Yeah, no, people have to apologize for coming late. Yep. Oh, there's my mail. There's the postal service delivering mail. You can hear the little Jeep outside zipping along. Yeah, so anyway, where are we at here? About an hour and a half. Well, now that my internet seems to be working fine, folks, I'm in much better mood here. Not that I was in a bad mood. Matthew apologized for nothing. But Matthew called in on the Christmas day. That was kind of cool to see Matthew. And we had Willem and Cara, and we had Ronaldo, and we had Nicola called in from Belito, but she had internet problems. So lots of people called in. Yep. The chat is dying down. What's going on? You guys falling asleep? Are people falling asleep? We can do the sister sledge. We are family. I got all my sisters and me. Remember that? Wow. I know many boors who are too busy to be here, but once they get involved, those who don't want to get involved will be involved. Well, I hope so. It'd be nice. The call-in was fun, Matthew, yes. Holiday brain. People were chilling out. Yeah, I think you're right about that. There's a holiday brain going on. So when I made this image for, you guys probably didn't notice it, but when I made this image for using AI of Simonstown. It's not quite accurate. The port doesn't quite look like this, but that's okay. Also, the ships have like these massive little flags put on them. Look how big those flags are. And the South African ship is going to have a little trouble getting out of harbor because it has to pull forward and then back out because there's a dock behind it. But hey, that's okay. We got a Russian, a Chinese, an Iranian, and a South African ship in there. Yeah, no, I talked about the uprising in Iran a couple days ago. Why? Something new happening? I don't watch Tusi. Maybe if I get invited on the program one day, I'll watch it. So, Zoe. Hey, Zoe.
Yes, Colonel.
Okay. All right. Well, that's not what you're supposed to say. You say, may I help you? You didn't say, may I help you, Zoe.
Yes, Colonel. How may I assist you?
That's better. If you're going to have an AI computer to help you, you want it to be polite. Thoughts on the Golden Fleet, the new battleships? Yeah. No, I think it's long overdue. Long overdue. Well, Sandy, I'm always quick with the news, too. In fact, I broke 3 global news stories last week that no one else broke. And I'm usually ahead of most things. And I also reported on the Iranian uprising 3 days ago when it started. Who do you think can lead this country? South Africa? Tough one. Tough one. They have rowboats. There's Chinese, Iranian, and staff are walking to a bar. You changed Alexa's name. I did. I call her Zoe. Didica Tokotsa is the next president according to ANC. Not likely. Well, thank you, Nub. I appreciate that. I'm your go-to source for the news. That's always good to see. Looks about right for South Africa. Blocked in on every side, still trying to pass away. Barbara, it is kind of a statement on the South African Navy, that's for sure. I hadn't really thought of it that way, but you're spot on. That's too funny. By the way, tomorrow, folks, is New Year's Eve. I will be doing a New Year's Eve show. I'll do a midnight show for South Africa, especially now that the internet's done. We'll do another one for midnight here. Yep. So, man walks in the bar. Yep. So, that'll be happening tomorrow. And I also have to run to the Veterans Organization tomorrow because we have a big thing going. I have a band coming in. I will have room open at my house that I would like to make available to people coming for interviews. Any suggestions how to make this happen discreetly? Well, Donnie Strauss, please send me an email. One of the mods, please put the email address up there right now. Or if you have me on WhatsApp, send me a WhatsApp. The problem with people just sending me unsolicited WhatsApps is all I get is a phone number. I don't know who these people are. I had some guy chastise me the other day saying that I need to quit saying foot-sec. It's very rude and disrespectful, and that it's inappropriate, and a person of my military rank shouldn't be talking like that. And they also accused me of something else, too, and they didn't even say who they were. They just sent me a thing and admonished me. I'm like, who the heck is this? You don't even tell me who you are, man. If you're gonna be rude to somebody or you're gonna criticize them, at least tell them who the heck you are. I mean, why should I listen to some random thing that comes? But yeah, well, maybe a troll, maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, where are the mods at? Did all the mods fall asleep? I guess I have to do the work myself. All right, let me go get the damn thing. Okay, hang on. Gmail. The mods are sleeping, man. They're all sleeping. Oh, wait. Did you already write me an email? Come on. Oh, you already wrote me. Okay, you got me. Got me. Okay. All right, cool. Donnie, yeah, I will send you a message and we'll take care of it. Thank you. I see you sent me an email 30 minutes ago. Okay. Yeah, send a voice note back. That's good, Matthew. I should have done that. I don't disappear. It's only one strike, a weather strike, a wooden electric pole outside town. Now the whole town is blackout. Good Lord. Yes, I agree. Idiot buffoon's doing that. What's your take on the proposed new gun? I think that it's an effort to disarm South Africans so that they can be the sole arbiter of deadly force. Please explain what's the difference if the breadwinner can apply for dual citizens and spouse not. Okay, Lawrence, I don't understand your question. It's not about breadwinner. Okay, let's just do a traditional family, husband and wife and kids. Or we'll talk about the Stoltz family. He's got an EU passport. I think it's German. He's got an EU passport, so he can leave at any time and go live in Germany. If it's German, I don't know. I'm just saying. If it's German, he can go live there any time, the European Union. His son can also go. His wife can't. His kids can. His black kids can't. Because they can't get visas because of the laws. So in their case, she applied as the main applicant. She's an Afrikaner, a racial minority in South Africa, suffering from unjust racial persecution in the past and has legitimate fear of future persecution. She articulated that to them. They got approved with her as a South African, with her husband as a dual passport holder, with her black children who were adopted, and they came over. So I'm not sure if I've addressed your answer, Lawrence Duplessis, but if I have, tell me. I think that addresses your concern. The bottom line is that as long as you have an adult member of the household who qualifies, then the other rest of the family can go. I told people this all along. Somebody said, I'm married to a Thai. Can she come? If you are a legitimate person who can qualify and you remain married, that person can come over with you. Yep, exactly. No snow. It was just a few flakes, Elmarie. It was freaking cold, but a few flakes flying down, and they disappeared. No accumulation. So, Lawrence, did I answer your question? No leader, no one is going to step up. That's why people are getting the hell out of here. It's not going to get any better. It's only downhill from here. Sculpin says a rank in Call of Duty. Well, congratulations. Smaller parties don't have enough sway, and the majority of parties are losing face. Colonel, I said the country would fragment and collapse eventually. That's a very real possibility. I'm not predicting it, but it's a real possibility. It also could stay together and just continue to suffer for another 30 years. It is windy here, yes. And it was windy last night. So I just got a wind advisory. It just came across on my screen. So if you're asking for somebody who has a gravitas that is electable, that would be suitable for South Africa, the one person that comes to mind that would be palatable for many South Africans would be Velinkosi Chlabisa, the leader of the Inkatha Freedom Party. But I've not been impressed by the IFP's role in the GNU or its governance in KZN. So, Willem Petzer, I assume you're talking about Renee, about expropriation without compensation of cattle that are foot and mouth free. I haven't heard about that anywhere. Mike says, not sleeping, just checking all the chats and some BS questions. Okay. The only thing that acts up when it's cold is my knuckle. So this knuckle right here, I was in the Army in 1980, early 85, I think it was. And we came back from an exercise. It was cold outside, and we got inspected. They checked the fluid levels. You can't go home until all the fluid levels are fine. They make us check the transmission fluid. But if you put transmission fluid in automatic transmission, it heats up. When it heats up, it expands. And when it expands, it goes above the line that says this is where it's supposed to be, between this level and this level. So when you spend 6 hours in a convoy driving back, that stuff is really hot. And if it's in the mark where it's supposed to be, which is you're supposed to check when it's cold, unlike the oil, and the oil in the engine is supposed to check when it's cold too. What happens is it rises up, and they would make us drain it. So, a stupid thing, they made me drain. I was a young soldier, private first class. They made me get under the truck on this the bricks that are in the motor pool, and I had to loosen the drain plug and drain some transmission fluid. But the problem is that all I had was a crescent wrench, and it was wintertime, and I had to take my glove off to hold the wrench because I couldn't do it with my glove on. So I held it, and it slipped, and I sliced the top of my knuckle off because it caught the bottom of the sharp plate and ripped my knuckle off. So I had to go to the hospital, which was a hospital. It was just a clinic at that point, and then they sutured up my knuckle. This knuckle, when it gets cold, that bothers me, but nothing else. I mean, my hip, no problem. 1447, have a good evening, take off. Yeah, Amanda, that's the only thing that acts up. Please check if on Dante Mike when you have a chance. He was in chat mentioned it's going very bad with him. I saw him in chat, but I didn't see anything from him about things going badly. Dante, if you're still here, send me an updated message. I don't know about anything going badly for you. We haven't talked in a few days. Sorry, I was trying to put my table together. There's a gap there. Oh, Willem and Kara's Willem. He mentioned a Zoom session. Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh, no, I didn't catch that in the chat, or if I did, I don't remember. Okay, thank you. I thought you meant, okay. Thank you for that. I hope people wake up and start looking at who can lead instead of following the propaganda. Well, I can lead, but I'm not in line for that, so. Tom hates cold weather, period. Oh, it was, Ingrid. It was horrible. But, I mean, I had my nose ripped up when I was a kid. The splayed open. The tissue split in two. Yeah, that was from a swing set. Yep, remember that. I got a scar on my head where I was hitting the head with a croquet mallet. We were playing, and my friend swung it. It flew out of his hands, and we're looking around, where the hell's it at? It bounced off the apartment building, hit me right in the head. Yeah, I got a scar on my chin where I hit the brakes. We didn't have handbrakes, but, you step on the chain and trying to, mess around as a kid and went flying off my bicycle because the tire locked up. Went flying. I was so light and skidded on the blacktop on my chin. Yep. Well, Ian, I hope you get your flights too so that we can quit talking about it. Just kidding. What branch of the military? You were in 6th South African Infantry. You asking me, Neba? I served in the Signal Corps from 1983 until 1987. Then I left active duty, returned to university, spent 2 years in the Ohio National Guard in Air Defense Unit, twin 40 millimeter AAA anti-aircraft artillery unit, M42 Dusters. Then came back in the Army as a tactical intelligence officer, later served as a signals intelligence officer, strategic intelligence officer, as well as a counterintelligence agent. In addition to that, I was a foreign area officer for Sub-Saharan Africa, and I served from 1983 until 2019. Yeah, that was crazy, Joan. If you were born, let's say, in Namibia, and you are a breadwinner and your spouse is South African, she can go with you. No, you stop with the breadwinner. You don't mean shit. Sorry for the profanity, but you don't mean anything. Nobody cares if you're the breadwinner. You don't matter. You're not a South African. I hope that doesn't hurt your feelings. Listen to what I'm saying. If your spouse is South African and she's an adult and she qualifies, she can apply. Or vice versa. Ian says, I'm not talking about it. I've been a big crybaby. No, Ian, I'm just teasing. So, Lawrence, please listen. You don't matter. You cannot come to America as a refugee as a Namibian citizen. It ain't going to happen. However, if your wife is a South African, you're living in South Africa, and she could qualify, you can come over with her. Are you tracking now? I hope that's clear. I haven't done my CV, Matthew. I just answered the man's question. No, I wasn't in the hospital. Just went and got a couple stitches here, a couple stitches there. Yeah. The thing is, I don't really have much of the scars from it. I had that surgery for my gallbladder. There's no scars from the laparoscopic procedure. The scar on my knuckle is almost gone. It was there for decades now. You can't even tell it's there. I can because I know where it's at. But if you looked at me, you wouldn't know there's a scar there. Yep. Some stuff shrinks in extreme cold. Yeah. I was in the pool. Shrinkage. George Costanza. Shrinkage. I was in the pool. Leslie said, looks like a good week. Great interview, content, success with sorting out your internet. Hope it stays on track. I hope so, too. Thursday, we have another refugee interview. Anonymous. Friday, we have refugee interview. I believe that's going to be anonymous, too, but I'm not 100%. I'll check on that. I'll get those scheduled. And tomorrow, we'll be busy with New Year's Eve. So, yep. Ronaldo asked me to broadcast earlier tomorrow. You have to ask yourself why in 31 years there are no parties that can beat the ANC. It just shows me how you're suppressed. Well, Aurora, you're on this kick about leaders. I mean, what about you? Can you step forward and be a leader? Exactly. If you don't have scars from childhood, you didn't grow up. You didn't play hard. You didn't work hard. Ran downhill once when I was little and scraped open my toe against a tar. Oh, that sounds horrible. Anyway, don't hear that. Looks like you will be busy with refugee interviews. Oh, I'm always busy. In fact, that's something I need to check out. I need to look and see my playlist because, hang on a second here. Channel, because I haven't made sure that everybody's on that playlist for refugees. Let me look at that playlist. So, playlist. Okay. I'm going to take my playlist there. Solid refugee interviews. You pull. This one says I got 13 videos. Is that right? Okay, so I'm missing some here, I think. Yeah, I got to go back and check. There's got to be more than 13. I must have neglected some. Yeah, definitely I'm missing some. Yeah, yeah, that's in the wrong place. So, yeah, I've got refugee interviews that aren't here. I've got Frick Peter Say, he's on here. That one's from October. Then Tian Renee, 16 October. Then Letitia on the 17th October. And that's it. So all the ones after that aren't here. That's weird. I need to fix that. So, everyone, Chris got a scar from bottom length of my foot to Devil's Fork. Being a dumb kid, now I'm older, I feel sorry for my poor parents. I once jumped out the back of a moving Baki. Good Lord. That's crazy. Hey, Carlos, what's going on, man? What is going on? So, yeah, that's crazy. I thought, so let me move this, that one, and that one, and that one. Actions, a move to, add to refugee interviews. Where's the refugee interviews? I don't even see the list on here. South African refugee interviews. Well, that's why I can't find it. It's not listed here. Oh, there it is. There we go. So that saves 2 of them there. Okay, and that'll update a little bit. But yeah, that playlist is not, I guess that the plan to create jobs are going to feed people. Okay, so yeah. So that takes care of a couple more of them I must have missed. How did I did that? I mean, I do some of these damn things. I must have missed it. Okay, I'm looking to see if there's more of them here. No. Maybe I didn't miss it. There's just a couple of them. Yeah. I've done, I don't know, about 20 of those refugee interviews now. Here's one that's not in there. Okay. Rocky Mountain High. I had Theo Diagra on the channel recently. I had Steve Hofmeyer on the channel recently. This is all just recently. Oh, here's another refugee interview. Okay. Add to playlist. There you go. So I think I caught most of them. Everyone, what's this? Okay. Unfortunately, not Aurora was born post-apartheid. Yeah, I understand the Colonel. The problem is person was born in Namibia, not South Africa, came in the 80s before. Okay. But I'm still confused. Is your spouse a South African? That's what you have to focus on. If your spouse is South African, then you're good. Okay. Maybe I missed something there. Okay. We also had Gideon Joubert on about arms. We've had a lot of people on recently. There's Lily. Okay. And add to refugee interview. So yeah, I've got to do a better job of keeping these refugee interviews on here because going back to November, I hadn't had any of them put on there. I thought I put them on there. So, yep, I think I've got most of it covered. Now, back to November. Okay, that's a refugee interview one. Put that in there too. And we'll move that too. So suddenly my refugee playlist is going to be a lot longer because I neglected to put some of these things. They were on playlist. Here's another one. I don't know if that's in there. That's another one. 2 of them, I think, this is October. They might already be there. So, and that one is there. So we'll put that, add to playlist. Okay, now I'll look at the playlist and see how we got it. This is 15 before I did that. And let's see what we're up to now. I got to take one of them out. 19 videos. So there's 18 interviews. So this one here is not for the refugee interview. Removed from playlist. Okay. All right, so there's 18 interviews in here. Yep, including the Thea. Oh, actually, not all interviews. That's, yep. But lots of refugee interviews. So, yep, that's on the playlist. So you guys can check that out. Cool. Nose licking. What are you talking about that? If the person in the family has found that, let them be the main. That's what I'm getting at. I don't think he's understanding that. Lawrence Duplessis, if you have a spouse that's an adult and they're South African citizen, they qualify, they become the applicant, not you. They're not going to let you go as a Thai or a German or a Brit or a Namibian or a Botswana. Not going to let you go unless your spouse qualifies. Anyone saw the one business on the way to Rustenburg producing fertilizer? Slogans are "Uns fun." That's good. No, I have no control over the music playlist there, Safa loading. I have no control. That is done by YouTube automatically when it comes from the distributor. So let me look and see. It was 80 videos. I've had several videos I published the other day. Let me see. Hang on a second here. So that's going to be DJ Silver Eagle topic. Let me see if it's still at 80 or if it's gone up. 84 videos. So yeah, so it has updated. So here you go. So the DJ Silver Eagle is updated. There's 370 subscribers. And by the way, I get money from this, folks, if you don't mind. If you want to go listen to the music, you can go to that. That's DJ Silver Eagle on YouTube. Come on. Paste. There you go. That's DJ Silver Eagle if you want to go check it out. Okay. I'll pin that. Pin message. So let's get back to that. So I added those 4 songs. So you got Christmas with the Colonel, The Raid on Woodmead, Het Gegaadloop Nateran. And Oops, the ANC did it again. So I just put those 4 on there. So now it's 84 videos. Yep, that came through my distributor. It got to the channel. Yep, and that song I really like. That's a good one. So that's one I did. Where's that here? Come on, where are you at there? There it is. That's the one. I love this one. It's pretty good. What do you guys think of this one? Steve Hofmeyer said it was pretty good, but he might just been being nice to me. I don't know. I sent it to Steve and asked his opinion. No, I agree with you, Ian. You got to be here so we can do the interview.
Ons verruil ons vryheid nog voor ons kon begin. En hulle hardloop na die Here en draai hulig op die weste vir 'n ander plan. Van die Kaap na die Kremlin by China Havana, terwyl hulle band is Christus die heilige Hosanna. Ja, hulle hardloop na die Here op 'n broer met die spoke in die woestyn se sand.
I haven't loaded the Steve song yet.
Hulle neem die ou verdrukking en gee dit 'n nuwe naam aan 'n spelers aan die top, maar die spel is net so skaam, patronage en armoede versprei, soos 'n virusgriep terwyl hul hand skoot met tirane lê die skuldgevoel nie. Stagnasie in die water, korrupsie in die wind, hulle mors die goeie erfenis wat ons nie weer sal vind. Ons soek nie die stars en stripes, ons toekoms vir totalitaire gode. En hulle hardloop na die Here en draai rug op die weste vir 'n ander plan. Van die Kaap na die Kremlin by China Havana, terwyl hulle band is Christus se heilige Hosanna. Ja, hulle hardloop na die Here en broer met die spoke in die woestyn se sand. Oorlogskepe in die hawe, skadies op die kaai. Die ANC is besig terwyl die wêreld vinnig draai. Hulle hou van die eystervuis, die partylyn so streng, terwyl hulle ons na die bouvalle van die tempel bring. Hulle waap! Al die pad na Teheran, saam op die bandwagon, tot sins aan die reënboog, met spookachtige ster. Ons hardloop al die pad na Teheran.
Okay, Lawrence, I'm confused now. Okay, because you were speaking Afrikaans earlier. So, who is the South African citizen? You or your spouse? I'm confused. I'm sorry, Lawrence. I'm trying to help you out here. But who's? I thought your wife was the South African. You were Namibian. I'm confused. That's probably on me. Maybe I didn't understand what's in the chat. Just if one of you is a citizen of South Africa and you're living in South Africa, if you're living in Namibia, it ain't gonna work. If you're a South African living in Botswana, it ain't gonna work. But if you're a South African living in South Africa and you're an adult, you put a statement or you put an intake questionnaire in, and then your family members go into it. You become the primary. I'm missing something here. And I saw that somebody said they only see 4 videos. I see 84. Let me just try it with a different browser where I'm not logged in. Let me see. What's a browser where I'm not logged in? Brave, I don't think I'm logged in. Let me try that. So I don't have any. Yeah, okay, here we go. Brave. Paste and go. Let's see. If you go, it shows me 84 videos. It's not hiding anything from me. And I'm not even logged into YouTube there. Yeah, sign in. So 84. Yeah, so I don't know what to say. Oh, don't run in the house. Learned the hard way. Ran into steel. Oh, gosh, that was terrible, Karen. Oof. The need to click on see all. Oh, yeah, see all, see the rest. Yeah, view all. Yeah, view all. There you go. Oh, that's why. View all. Yeah, here you go. I'll show you how to do that. There you go. So I see them here. See, you're only seeing 4. I got 5 there. View all. Click on that. There you go. See, that's what you want to do. Sorry. Thank you. Now I understand what the problem is. See, there you go. View all. There you go. We got the FAO Fridays. I forgot about that one. Yeah, there's 84 videos. See all.
Friends and family, only Fridays, you know the drill. Keep your secrets locked, pay the bill. Trumpsters here with a wink and a grin.
Okay, it doesn't matter if your spouse has a foreign passport. We've proven that now. I knew that to be the case. I analyzed that and told people that it shouldn't be an issue for you. We've proven it now with the Stoltz interview. He has an EU passport. She doesn't. She was the main applicant. He's in America now. I didn't say anything about the Iranians going to South Africa yet. Thank you for your subscription, Jacques Retif. Your phone isn't charging properly. That sucks. Might be the charger or your battery's going. Okay, thank you, Lawrence, for emailing me. I still don't understand it's just not making any sense. Okay. No, he's not said anything about the Iranian ships going to South Africa yet. But I know that he knows. I know that Trump is aware of it. Don't ask me how, but I know that President Trump knows. Just saying.
Time let the games begin. Shockwaves, he's got that flair. Good behavior, better beware. Watch your step, don't lie, he'll surprise. Leave you asking why. Try to get slick, he'll flip the play. Embarrass you. It's a bad boy. It's a Don't test the limits, don't push too far. He's got a radar like a shooting star.
Where's the little birdie?
America's game,
Tweet, tweet.
don't mess with the rules.
Tweet, tweet.
Faithful Fridays, no time for fools. Shock,
No.
surprise, a twist in the
Not gonna bomb
tail.
South Africa.
Step out of line, he'll never fail. The Trumpster's got moves, he's here to stay. Faithful Fridays, don't get in the way. Watch your step, don't lie, he'll surprise. Leave you asking why. Try to get slick, he'll flip the play. Embarrass you. It's the faithful way.
Faffo away. Anyway, so that's from the channel, folks. And what are we up to now? We got 375 subscribers. Thank you for that. Yeah, all 84 videos are up there that I've loaded so far. Those last 4 just came a couple nights ago. I finally got around to it. I have not loaded the Steve Hofmeyer song yet. I will do that, folks. The problem is I'm trying to remember which one it was because it took the lyrics and put it in the title. So I have to look and see. Leslie, you have to go. I'm going to have to go too. It's been 2 hours. Yeah, I ran so far away. I did one like that, but that wasn't for the Iranian fleet. Yep. I forgot, Colonel, if you want. Great browser. Zen. Okay, Conrad, I'm not familiar with Zen browser. I've got Brave. I've got Chrome. I've got Firefox. I've got Microsoft Edge all on my computer and Opera as well. Oh, boy. Monster Max says, the Stoltz interview has really answered a lot of questions. I don't think so. No, I think what the Stoltz interview did is confirm my analysis on many issues. Many things I told you were resolved. People don't want to believe me. Now you have evidence of people who are here that match what I said all along. So there you go. Yep. So there you go. I think that's what it did. So, naval exercise plan. Do you suspect Trump will issue sanctions? I wouldn't get too excited about that, Jared. No, I would expect to see some rhetoric potentially coming, but it'll probably start with South Africa, and they'll step on their toe, the ANC. Time for everything. All right. Well, there's a time for everything. Well, we are losing audience here left and fast. What's going on, man? Everybody running over to Lili's stream. Got some super chats. We got the 507 likes. That'll work. All right. Well, I'll wrap it up. All right, guys. Yes, your internet was fine. You weren't talking in Morse code. Yeah, that was nice. All right, guys. Thanks for being here. We'll see you later on. Don't forget Night Owls tonight. And it'll be the 31st of December when the South African audience tunes in for that later in the day for me. All right. You're very welcome. Cheers, God bless, and thank you for being here. And thanks to the Xfinity Comcast technician for fixing the internet, at least for now.